Hi, it's Lydia from Voodoo here. We are kicking off our podcast with an incredible interview. At least I hope it's going to be incredible. I'm pretty sure it's going to be incredible. With Christian here. I will let him introduce himself to you guys. So, Christian, tell us all about yourself.
My name's Christian Ernst. I'm originally from San Diego. I moved here 9 years ago after my son was born. I'm married to a wonderful woman named Laura. We've been married almost 11 years.
She gave you the thumbs up.
Yeah.
You guys can't see her, but she gave a thumbs up to that.
She's currently getting her master's at Vanderbilt in public health policy, so she'll change the world. She's
She already
incredible.
has.
She already has. She'll
She'll
continue
do
to
more.
do that. If you ever get to meet her, you should and become best friends with her because she's awesome. We have two kids. I have a son, Eli, who's 9, and my daughter Martha is 7. And they're spunky and very different and smart. Love to read, and they're exploring around right now. Currently, I work part-time on their family farm out here in Spring Hill, and I also train part-time, and I'm a coach at Row House Cool Springs.
Awesome. I didn't tell you this ahead of time. I didn't put it in your notes because I didn't realize it when I wrote your questions, but I did find out that it was recently your birthday.
It was.
Okay, so I brought some treats.
Yeah.
Which we probably should not consume. Well, we shouldn't consume these mini cupcakes because I don't think people want to listen to voices of us or the noises of us
All right,
chewing.
We'll do those later.
But I also made a small birthday cake for you.
Yeah.
out of some Ghost energy drinks. They were. I brought my own.
Oh. I don't think I've ever had the orange creamsicle.
It's very good. I like the sour ones, so I don't. It's not like at the top, but it's good. It just tastes like a melted orange creamsicle.
That's awesome.
Hopefully, I won't fall off
this box.
They were let me tell you too, very, very hard to ribbon together.
Yes, I was impressed.
I tried to just do a few wraps around the outside and then like crisscross it over the top. There was no way I could crisscross it over the top. I tried everything. I had to give up after like 10 minutes, and I just wrapped more around the outside so that we could like transport them, and then put them in the bottom of my backpack and wedge them in so that they wouldn't like fall apart. I was dreading like if I picked them up and like one falls out, they all fall out.
Yeah.
So
that was an amazing job.
That's perfect. Okay, so first off, like we're doing this podcast to talk to people who work in the health and fitness industry in the Nashville area. So I want to know first, like, how did you get into health and fitness? Did you play sports as a kid? Like, what made you want to like exercise and do stuff like that?
So most of my life I was pretty fat, and so I mean like super overweight as a kid, which it just happens. And I'm 37 now, so just to gauge how old I am.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago. No. So I grew up not really doing anything. Like I was homeschooled. We kind of did the fitness stuff that we were required to do,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of it was a sedentary lifestyle, which happens,
Yeah.
And so I started playing flag football in it was my freshman year of high school. I was still homeschooled, and then I was going into my mom got a job at a private Christian elementary, and they had a high school. So I started going there my sophomore year, and they had a football team.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I want to play football. So in my freshman year, I bought a weight set.
Yeah.
Like saved up money. I still have the original iron weights.
That's awesome.
So 2 decades worth of use. It's a great investment if you're looking to get into. If you're going to buy a treadmill or weights, buy weights. That's what I would say.
Especially those iron ones. They do get heavier with age is the only downside, right?
They're heavier. They're always heavier.
Everybody knows that. But like they're pretty much impossible to break. You'd have to
They've traveled across country once. I mean, they moved with us everywhere. So
for sure.
So I started lifting weights. I lost 50 pounds over the summer, and then I just started being active,
mm-hmm.
and I thought it was really fun. In college, I played college rugby. I played a season on the track and field team. And then after I graduated, I got a job at a company and it had nothing to do with my major. I was a PE major, and I just got super fat again.
Yeah.
Super lazy, and realized I needed to start getting back into it. And so about 15 years ago, I started getting back into it. Dropped from 325 to about 240, 230. So
That's awesome.
yeah, and then kept going.
Yeah, I think especially the like everybody gets a job and then is suddenly sitting around all day and gets fat thing is
Yeah.
like such a common thing. And then
Well, it was a rude awakening, like working 10 hours a day, and
yeah,
it's like, oh wait, I have to cook food, and I have to get up at what time, and I was just not prepared for it. And
yeah, try to figure out how to sleep.
yeah,
like, like how do these people have time to do things during the
yeah,
day? Yeah, that's a really really common thing. And no, that's awesome. It's awesome that you've
yeah.
found a way to take care of yourself and
Jump
fit
back
that
in.
into it.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we are filming in the barn gym right now.
Yep.
Tell us about the barn gym.
So my family and I moved out to my in-laws' farm 2 years ago, and I needed a place for my weights. And so I talked to my father-in-law and I said, "Hey, there's this random barn that is full of crap. Is that crap important?" And he said, "No." So um, this whole room that we're in was just full of all sorts of mess. And so I just cleared it. I slowly cleared it out. I had one little spot. It was literally wide enough for my barbell, some mats, and all my bumper plates.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then I slowly cleared it out. And one day it just hit me like, because this used to be a working milk barn, and so it just came to me of milk barn athletics would be a pretty
That's
cool
awesome.
training facility. So it's still in the works. It's super. I got my personal training certification in February, or last February. And so I'm just slowly working towards eventually going off on my own. But right now, just
Yeah.
that's where it came out, and here we are.
Well, the cool thing too is like how much do we joke about the like like the farm boys being those like big strong people, and you're
Yeah,
like, well, I'll just put my actual gym
yeah,
inside my barn.
absolutely, yeah,
Like, we're just going for farm boy strength at this point.
yeah. But it's not insulated at all. It has it gets to the teens, or it gets to
Yeah.
105 with like 80% humidity. So
What's worse? Would you rather exercise cold or when it's like 100 degrees outside?
cold all the time. I was one time I was wearing gloves that I sweat through, and I actually froze. My hands froze to the bar.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
that
Oh
cold.
my
It was
goodness.
so cold.
You're like, no, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I worked out for like 3 years in a CrossFit gym that of course has like no heat whatsoever.
Yeah.
So or they have like a space heater, but I worked out at 5:30 in the morning, and so they like the heat's been on for 15 minutes at that point. It hasn't done anything. This was in the Chicago suburbs. Like it's like -20 is the normal temperature in the winter. And you go to like touch any of like the barbells or the rig, and it was just like instantly everything hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, this is painful. I was at least in the summer, you're like, I'll get out, work out at 5 in the morning while it's 85 instead of 100.
It's still gross.
It's still gross. It's still gross. So you mentioned you coach at Row House.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about Row House, how you got started there, what made you want to be a coach there, and how you got into all that.
So Row House is it's a boutique rowing gym. We row on the Concept 2 rower, which is really nice because in the class we can all be in swing. We stay true to the sport of rowing. So that means when you're in our class, it looks like we're all rowing one big boat together, like in the Olympics. And so I just needed a place to kind of jump in to the fitness world, I guess, professionally. I've been training people since college, but never like official, something I can put on paper. And I went to a class, and I did CrossFit for about 5 years and really enjoyed that camaraderie. And whenever someone came into the class that was new, we had a really tight knit group, and I had my spot at the gym. And so if they took my spot, I would politely welcome them and say, "Hey, you're new. I'm so glad you're here. You need to move." And they would casually be moved to a different spot.
Yeah.
And so my first experience, I just went to Row House to try a class to see, is this something I even want to do? And I sat down, they welcomed me, blah, blah, blah. And this lady comes up and goes, "Hey, you must be new." And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "That's my spot. And I'm next to you today.
Hello.
This is our dog, Maya." And so, but after that, I always joke about her with it now. And she was super helpful afterwards, though. And,
Yeah.
during the class, she was really like, "Hey, this is, great that you're here." And so that camaraderie and that like how close knit every class was pretty cool. And I didn't realize I would really enjoy doing group fitness, and I do. So,
Yeah.
got hired and started doing that in August.
I got to go to one of your
Yeah,
first classes.
you actually came to my test out. Yeah,
I survived.
they actually get better. They've gotten better.
I had a good
So.
time. Row house and cycle bar are like the same family of
Yeah.
gyms. And I work out at cycle bar like 5 days a week. So like the rhythm based part of it was like totally normal. But my goodness, I was so sore after that class because like I'm used to my legs doing all the work. And
Yeah.
suddenly it was like, oh, your legs can do some, but like here's your back.
Yeah. Core. It's a high intensity, low impact.
Yeah.
Full body. 45 minutes you can burn between 500 and 800 calories. I've gotten 1,000 sometimes.
Yeah. And I was every time I decide to try a new workout, I always dread that it's just going to feel like it's never going to end. And I will say it did not feel like that. Yes. It flew by. It was a good time. Even if it was like brand new Christian coaching, he felt he was rusty. It was great. It was still a good time. So if it is, even better now. Oh, it's got to be awesome.
Good. Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite part of being part of the fitness community in the Nashville area?
My favorite part about being in the fitness community, I think, is as I dive in a little bit more, it's just how nice everyone is.
Mm-hmm.
At least I hope they are. My goal is to always, I never want to say, don't go here because they're terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I want to always say, hey, this might not be a fit for you. And I'd rather say, hey, my gym's not a fit for you, but I know Tom at whatever, or Row House Cool Springs would be a great fit, or why don't you try this personal trainer? I'd rather have that network and that kind of camaraderie within the fitness realm so that we're just, if our goal is to just get people healthy, let's just figure out where they can get healthier the best.
For sure. I feel the same way working in healthcare in that like I know I'm not the right fit necessarily for everybody from a treatment standpoint, but like I have other chiropractors I can refer people to. I have physical therapists. I have even for some people who are transitioning out of like a rehab based thing, recovering from an injury into wanting to be more active. I have personal trainers and people I can refer to. And I love that it's okay for you not to be that person.
Yeah.
And like to be able to acknowledge that that's not a hit to your ego, that you're not their person, but you can help them find their person.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge. Like just having that welcoming community and knowing each other in that network is so nice.
Yeah. And I really got my first taste of that. I worked for the OG Nashville people, I worked at Mid 10 Nutrition for about a year and a half. And so it was a nutrition shop up in Elliston. And we would, people would come in and they would say, hey, I'm trying to get back into it. And we had just lists of people that we would say, oh, we should go here. Oh, this place over here is awesome. And because those people came to our shop and we talked with the trainers and we knew how cool they were. Mm-hmm. So it was really a fun experience to start seeing that camaraderie and that closeness in the group, in the community. So.
For sure. That is definitely a cool thing.
Yeah.
For you personally, what do you find to be the hardest part of health and fitness?
The hardest, at least for myself, health and fitness has been trying to cut weight. That's huge. I've battled with fat man syndrome, if you've ever heard of that, where for years of just like if I eat too many carbs or like all the stereotype things that are wrong. Like if I eat too many carbs, then I will get fat. Yes, if I don't do anything, but if I don't eat enough, then my body can't function.
Yes.
And so it took me a couple of years just to really, I just sat down and said, I'm not going to watch my calories. I'm not going to watch these things so closely. I'm going to let myself enjoy and just get used to that. And it's been hard to be like, I'm not losing weight, but it's also one of those things like I can start. If I really want to, I'll go out and find a way to drop weight and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm just kind of enjoying where I'm at.
I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with is like accepting your body for what it is at the time. And like, I've heard that referred to as body neutrality, which is like, and people laugh because I refer to my body as my meat suit often, which is like, that's my own method of body neutrality is like I am not this meat suit. I'm not this thing that I'm in.
Yeah.
But as long as my meat suit is capable of doing the things that I want to do, that like continues to allow me to do the stuff that I love, that fulfills me, then I'm okay with this meat suit.
Yeah.
And I think that's a thing in the fitness world that so many people struggle with is like, I know that the healthy thing would be for me to be 20 pounds lighter than I am right now.
Yeah.
But is this a realistic place for me to be at this point in my life? And can I at least be neutral to what
Yeah.
my body is right now and be grateful for what it's capable of doing. And like we'll assess the rest of it at a point when I feel better about assessing the rest of
Yeah.
that. That's something that's just so common.
Yeah.
It's-
Well, and I was finding too, like my life was so stressful as it was. I mean, we moved 2 years ago. My kids started a new school. My wife was starting her master's program. I was starting working part-time on a farm, and I don't know anything about farming other than like the things I've kind of done on the side
Yeah.
on the weekends. And it was just like, I can't add another stressor into
For sure.
my life. Like,
Yeah.
and it was finally just having that realization of like, it's going to be okay to just kind of relax and like just
Yeah.
be, I didn't sit and do nothing. I was still active, but
well, especially on the farm, the
always
manual labor is
Yeah.
intense.
It's so hard. Yeah.
Like, there's no rest days on the
No,
farm for
they're
sure.
not. Yeah.
So fun question. I obviously brought you a bunch of Ghost energy drinks.
Yes.
I consider you and myself to be aficionados of caffeinated beverages.
Yeah.
When did your caffeine addiction start? How did you get into it? Oh, and what's your current favorite way to consume caffeine?
It probably started in college, honestly. I don't like. I was thinking about this question. I'm like, I don't really remember exactly, but it started with rock stars and stuff, and it was really bad when I was drinking. I would mix rock stars and alcohol, and it was.
Which is a wild, like vodka Red Bull as a drink is just the most horrifying thing when you think
so
about what it does.
It was basically that, but just with rock stars because I like them better and they don't have sugar. So
you're like, it's the healthy version.
Yeah, in my mind. So, and that just kind of I mean, I was doing pre-workout stuff like that, and I didn't really know a lot about it. And after college, it was like that's how I stay awake. And so for the longest time, it was with energy drinks or with pre-workouts, and then I was working for Chipotle 8 years ago, and at a gas station, I saw Bang energy drinks. I was like, oh, these look kind of good. So it was like the old school, like 4 flavors just starting out, and they were amazing. So I started with that, and then just started getting into pre-workouts and a lot more. And then I started working at Mid-10, and then learned about all the other things that can be a stimulant but not caffeine.
Yeah.
So I just educated myself a lot more.
And learned that maybe mixing vodka into your drinks is not the best idea.
Alcohol and energy drinks shouldn't go to.
It's the uppers and the downers mixed together. It's not great.
Time,
Not great.
I think my favorites right now, like all pre-workouts, always amazing. Especially, well, at least for myself, I work out 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah.
At Row House, I coach 5 a.m. on Fridays, and so I have to be there at 4:30. So I'm up at 3:15.
A little early.
Yeah, it's that early. So I'll definitely get a jolt that way. I've really loved Ghost. I like their profile.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Bucked Up.
Yeah.
Theirs are pretty spot on. Bang's always just like a go-to, but with all their lawsuit stuff, I'm kind of like, I want to shy away from you for a little bit.
Well, and like when they first came out, they were like the only thing like them on the market. Like their flavors were so good, and then like everybody else started coming out. Rain came out, Ghost came out. I am absolutely not sponsored by Ghost, but if Ghost wants to sponsor me,
yes,
Ghost can sponsor me.
Can.
But like their flavors are so good. Like they're so good, and they're spot on. All their like sponsored stuff, like as a interior fat kid who loves candy, anything that tastes like candy, like the sour watermelon warhead ones or the Swedish fish. Ooh. Man, so good. I was like, this is you made liquid candy for me, but like it has no sugar and I don't feel that bad about it. It also gets me real jacked up. So it's like everything I need. If you want to sponsor us, you can sponsor us.
All day.
Okay, last serious question before we hit our lightning round questions. If you had to give one piece of advice to somebody who is just starting out for the first time on like a health and fitness journey, what would you tell them?
I would encourage them to find someone that you could trust or someone who will just answer your questions without charging you money.
Yeah.
Like find someone who will be legitimately helpful. If you want to reach out to me, I'm Mr. Adorable on Instagram. You can find me on Milk Barn Athletics. You can contact them and they can get you in my direction. Anyone who will just help you and listen to you and answer your questions If you start asking for programming stuff, obviously, like you
Yeah.
should pay for that. But
Pay
if
for
you're just like,
expertise.
I don't know where to start, because I find like even for myself when I was starting out again, it's like, where do I begin? Like,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, I can tell you that, but it's gonna be $80. Well, I don't have $80. I just need to know, do I need to run 5 miles or not?
Yeah.
So find someone who will help you or point you in the direction of getting what you need.
Sure.
I think that would be the number one. And number two, don't be afraid. Like, own where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have started my fitness journey over so many times, and you know, even though as far as I've come, I will have people say, "Oh, you know, I'll never be like you." It's like I started where you were too.
Yeah.
Like I had to start somewhere. Everyone starts somewhere. So own that. You know, if you're in that fitness journey, if you're starting it, you're doing better than 50% of the other people who haven't started.
Yeah.
So, you know, own where you are and be okay with that.
I think like a great piece of general life advice is like it's okay to suck. And like a lot of people don't enjoy that. They don't enjoy sucking at something.
Yeah.
But to be a beginner, you're basically accepting the fact that you're gonna suck.
Yeah.
So whether that is fitness, whether that is like you're trying to learn a new skill, whether that is like you picked up a new hobby and you're like you really want to learn to knit or whatever, like you're gonna suck at it. That's just the reality of life. But at the same point, you never get to be that person who's accomplished things if you didn't suck at it for sometimes an extended period of time, an uncomfortably long period of time.
Yeah.
And so it's like just embracing the fact that you are just gonna suck at it, and that's okay. It's perfectly okay to be a beginner and stuff. It's also okay to suck at it, to get good at it, and then to like stop doing it and then just suck at it again.
Yeah.
And like that's fine. It is perfectly okay to be that way.
Well, and find someone too who will encourage you. Like I started doing yoga 5 or 6 years ago at Steadfast and True, and Jillian, the owner and one of the main instructors, she talked to me after class and she, you know, asking me how it was. I'm like, man, I just suck at this. And she goes, no, you are strong, you're powerful. She encouraged the crap out of me, and it was like, oh, she goes, you're just not, you haven't done yoga, but you're so strong in what you can do here, and these poses are what will help you here. And it's like, I don't suck at yoga. That's great.
I'm not that bad.
So find people who will encourage you too.
Yeah.
You know, you'll be bad, but
it's okay.
You know, I've learned, you know, especially over the past 3 years, like find the good where you can.
Yeah, it's very much a personal journey. Like I always tell people, because I see people sometimes that they're like most frustrated when they're injured from something and they're not able to do the things they love. And it's like, yeah, sometimes we just have to take a step back and we have to like do a PR reset. So like I had a woman recently who had a baby like a year and a half ago, hadn't gotten immediately back into exercise, which is fine because having a baby is traumatic on multiple levels. And she was just starting to work out, and she's like, it's so frustrating because I remember like, she's like, what is my like 1 rep max now was my warm up weight. And I was like, that's cool. You got to have post baby PRs. Like that was a reset. You should celebrate your post baby PRs as much as you celebrated like PRs pre baby. Yeah. Like you get excited, still consider that you've accomplished things. Like that's awesome. It's okay to still celebrate things and not compare yourself to something that you were previously, and especially not compare yourself to other people. Yeah, absolutely. Like, huge. Yep. Okay. Are you ready for the lightning round questions? Okay. I don't want you to think. At all.
Just spit them out.
First, they're all over the place questions.
Awesome.
They're going to sort of make sense in the beginning, and they will quickly go off the rails. Right, so, you're going to hit a 1 rep max. What is your go-to hype song to get you real jacked up for it?
I can't remember. It's Collateral by Bury Your Dead or Whitewashed by August Burns Red.
Christian really likes metal, if you guys didn't catch on. What's your go-to cheat meal?
Victor's carne asada nachos with added chorizo.
That's so specific. I love a chorizo though. That's a nice touch.
If you add it on there, oof, yeah.
What is your favorite exercise?
Deadlifts.
Oh yes, a good deadlift, man. You feel so powerful from it.
I mean, if you can deadlift all day, and it applies to everything in the world.
It's super functional. Like I tell people that it's a very technical lift. It's a deceivingly technical lift.
So technical.
But it's so applicable to real life because how frequently do you like bend down and pick stuff up? that is functionally what you're doing.
A lot.
It's, yeah.
I rarely will put something on my back and have to sit down and stand back up with it.
Yeah.
Like a squat.
Like we don't do back squats in real life.
Pick up everything.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yep. What exercise do you hate the most?
Oh, I'm going to probably go with the plank.
Oh.
If you want to slow down time, you just start doing a plank.
Yeah. I can see why yoga is a struggle for you then, because there's a lot of planks in yoga, man.
Plank.
You'd be like, I swear this has been 30 minutes, and it's like 15 seconds.
Plank or pull up.
Yeah, fair.
Basically anything body weight.
Yeah. You're like, I want to pick up heavy things. I don't want to have to do this thing with my body.
Yeah.
You have to drink only one brand and flavor of energy drink for the rest of your life. What is it?
Ooh. I would have to go with Ghost energy drinks. Oh no, Bucked Up the Rocket Pop.
Oh yes, that one's a real good one. That's fair.
It tastes like a Rocket Pop.
Exactly liquefied
like
Rocket Pop. If you won $1 million tomorrow, how would you spend it?
Save it. I would help start building our house because we're trying to build a house across the street.
Awesome.
Donate it, give it away, set up a trust fund for my kids.
Yeah.
And then talk to Surplus Strength to deck all this out
Get a bigger barn gym.
With the best garage barn gym I can.
Love it. I love it. Yep. Good use. Who would you want to play you in a movie about your life?
Daniel Craig, because he's my man.
Oh yes. Yes. Would there be some like slow-mo walking out of the ocean scenes too? You're like, I don't know if you've ever even done that in your life, but you wanted to be
I probably
part of it.
have done it once or twice.
That's fair.
But yeah, Daniel Craig all the way.
I understand
or
that.
if someone taller, either like close second, Ryan Reynolds or Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
All three man crushes.
A trifecta.
Yeah. If they all had a baby, it would be
just together.
Be over.
Perfect. Do you have a favorite cow?
Yes.
Can I meet the favorite cow?
Absolutely.
Yes. I didn't tell you guys this, but I'm really only here because there's cows here.
It's all right.
And Christian was a little additive thing to it that made it okay.
It's a 200-year-old working cattle farm. So.
Yeah, there's cows.
Yeah, there's cows.
I'll take some video of the cows and plug it on the end of this video for anybody who's watching it on YouTube and not listening to the audio podcast. You can look at the cows. What is your irrational fear?
Irrational fear. I'm terrified of drowning and I'm terrified of heights.
Oh, I feel like heights is a very rational fear, but drowning. Yeah, can you swim?
I can swim. I sink pretty quick, but yeah,
real dense.
Just the thought of being trapped underwater. Nope.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I could be standing in thigh high ocean water, and I'm like, nope. I mean, I can still play in it, but yeah, those much.
Can't think about it too much. What nickname do your parents call you? Son. Good old classic good old son. Yeah. Good old son. Name one of the 7 dwarfs.
Grumpy.
I feel like this says a lot about people, what they answer about that. I haven't fully analyzed that, but my dad would also say grumpy. Yeah. There's got to be some psychological impact as to which one you pick. Final question. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or talk to animals? Okay, great. I'm so glad you picked that because I feel like there's a logical answer to that.
Yeah.
Eli agrees.
My son agrees. He's over here being like, yeah.
Talk to animals. I'm like, it'd be cool, but at the same time, you live in a world where...
I don't like talking to people.
No, me neither. That's exactly it.
Which is funny because I've done nothing but customer service or being interactive with people, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah, I tell patients that sometimes, how much I hate people, and they're like...
You talk all the time.
Yeah, I understand. I literally have a job that revolves around taking care of people, and I have to talk to those people. And I'm like, that runs in my family. My dad is a pastor who also hates people. Yep. So I don't know what it is. Just everybody in my family is just not about the people life, and somehow end up in professions that are.
If we didn't have to do this interview, we'd probably just be sitting in silence, just happy,
just chilling.
Oh,
walking around with the cows.
Yeah.
Not in the water, so we don't drown.
Yep.
Okay, that's it. But I want to give you the opportunity to plug. I know you did a little bit already, but plug your social media, plug Row House. I can tag them when we post this.
Yeah.
I know some places have a code or something for first rides and stuff like that. So if you got anything like that that you would love to share with the masses,
Yes.
please do so.
So yeah, Row House Cool Springs. I coach there. Again, it's a full body workout, high intensity, low impact. So if your knees are kind of hurting, that's fine. It's for everybody. Our demographic is absurd. I think our age range is from like 20 to like 75 nationwide. It's just a blast. So check us out. You can always get a free class if you want to see what it's like. Um, and then I'm Mr. Adorable on Instagram, Mr. Period _ adorable. And then Milk Barn Athletics is milk _ barn _ athletics. That one's pretty new. There's very little on there, but if you want to follow. And then if you need any garage gym stuff, check out Surplus Strength, my buddy Jason there. And if you need yoga, go to Jillian at Steadfast and True.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Cool. And we will see you next time.
Woo.